Wanna talk? So let's talk. Yeah. Talk. You wanna talk? You gotta talk, you need to talk. News talk.
I talk, you talk to Solomon. I talk, you talk to Solomon. Yeah, let's talk to Solomon. Talk to Solomon.
You gotta talk.
Good afternoon and welcome, my friends. It's time for Talk to Solomon, where we talk about issues in a way that most don't. We don't hold anything back. Our guest this first half hour is Larry Pratt, the Executive Director of Gun Owners of America. Larry, how are you?
Very good, Stan. Good to be with you.
Always a pleasure, always a pleasure. I thought we would start. Now, by the way, Chief Steve will be joining us, as will Jessica Bradshaw. So we'll have a full house here before long. I want to start with the discussion about Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey came out and basically told all Second Amendment supporting, utilizing gun-loving Americans to drop dead. And it seems that the drop dead happened, but it was his career that dropped dead. I thought you would like to share a moment of silence while we pass gas in his honor.
Well, it's a little hard to be silent when you put it like that. It was really an over-the-top statement, and obviously it's politically correct to say just horrendous things about gun owners, and it reflects I think, a very dangerous ignorance about what the Second Amendment is all about. The Second Amendment is to control governments that get over the top, that misbehave, such as the way the government of Barack Obama has been misbehaving. And this is a very dangerous world that we're in, and the Second Amendment is designed to ensure that we have the means to protect ourselves from that government. And for Carrey to go off like that shows me that he's not on the side of the people. Well,
again, here's a man who has been blessed. Here's a man who has gotten opportunities that most of us do not have. And his response is that a country that allows for that is not a country that's run by any one or one small cabal, but it's a country that is run with concern for, if not respect for, concern for what the people might do if they decide to do so. We're seeing it in Turkey. We've seen it in countries around the world. And I just don't, I think really he has a problem of foot and mouth disease. And of course there's plenty of room for his foot because there's no brain that might get in the way. By the way, you notice the chief has joined me. He has used his abilities in law enforcement to, shall we say, enter the seat.
Good to see you, Chief.
My pleasure. Good to see you.
All right, let's go from Jim Carrey, who I wish the worst for, and may he end up, in a gutter someplace, and hoping that someone with a firearm will keep him from being mugged.
Isn't he Canadian, by the way?
I think he is Canadian, and I think he should return to Canada. And I'm sure that there is a moose someplace in need of a suppository, and he could fill the bill. In L.A., we had a terrible shooting. A Lebanese gentleman, a 23-year-old, killed his father, killed his brother, went on and killed other people. And the L.A. Times is saying it's all because of his fascination with guns.
Sounds to me like it was a situation of jihad begins at home.
Well, I don't even know if he's Muslim. He may or may not be. He's Lebanese, but he may be Lebanese Christian. His father and mother are separated because his father was accused of abusing his mother. Whether that had something to do with it or not, they're really not saying. The only thing they're really coming out with is that he killed 5 people, I believe, including 2 from his own family, and shot a lot of people, had a lot of rounds, a number of guns, and they're blaming the guns.
Well, that's kind of typical for what the types in the media do. They're very, of course, I'll bet you that the very people that were saying things like that were in studios where you had to get past an armed guard to get inside.
Yeah, his track record is one with emotional problems, which means he possibly voted for a Democrat, which is a sign of instability and insecurity and lack of ability to reason. But the thing that has not caught hold, and I think it's interesting, is that this terrible incident that took place where innocent people died has not gotten national attention like you would think it might.
No, and of course another factor in what was going on there in Los Angeles is that that's virtually a gun-free zone. You don't get a permit to carry concealed in Los Angeles County or in most of the counties of the state outside its very rural areas, where there you have sensible sheriffs who grant these permits. In fact, the sheriff of Sacramento County was writing permits for virtually anybody that had a pulse, and that really bothered people.
By the way, we're now joined by our good friend Jessica Bradshaw, former Republican candidate for the United States House. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Stan. How you doing? Long time.
It has been a while.
Yes, it has.
You remember Larry, of course.
Of course, Larry. How are you doing?
Hello, Jessica.
And Chief Steve, I'm sure you remember Chief. He is
I do. I remember all of y'all.
I'm going to tell you what, Stan, to have Gun Owners America and a conservative woman like Jessica here, I just feel safe as can be.
Well, you know what? Jessica's from the South because, you know, when she talks about the plural, instead of saying y'all, she says all y'all. So I feel quite blessed to be in that good company. Now, there are two state senators, ladies, who voted for gun control in Colorado that are now facing or will be facing recalls. Larry, can you tell us what's happening there?
Well, a total of 4 had petitions being run against them, and I'm not sure if some didn't get enough. The first one, the state Senate president, who really rammed the gun control bill through the Senate, they got well before the deadline twice the number of signatures needed to get his name on the recall ballot. So it seems as if there's a bit of pushback coming. We'll, of course, know when the most accurate poll is taken, whenever that election is held. But the good news is that win, lose, or draw, these politicians are now on defense. That's the wonderful thing about all the president's scandals. He's on defense. We're no longer really getting a whole lot of, we don't have to worry too much about his agenda because he's on defense. And so these chaps out in Colorado hopefully will just sit the rest of the game out with the president on the bench, the penalty bench.
Yeah, I would hope so. I think in hockey they have a specific area where they put people that do things that are blatantly against the rules.
Right.
And I just wonder if there's room for the president and some of these Democrats in that particular, what do they call that? The box?
The penalty box.
Penalty box.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll put him in the penalty box and we'll have Jessica work him over.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. All right, now, Larry, we have the immigration bill being talked about, and that's not your particular area of focus, but we do have these incredible, when you stop and think about them, stories about government gone wild. You know, there's some moron that does videos on girls gone wild. Well, I think we're now going to see a series of videos on government gone wild. You have to believe then that they are investigating people like you to find out who talks to you and who you talk to so they can, in fact, target them. Between the IRS and the NSA, it is a chaotic time in America, is it not?
Well, I think we should consider the words of Janet Napolitano, who had identified the real potential terrorists in this country as veterans, pro-lifers, gun owners, and basically anybody that was really hung up on that original Constitution thingy. Those were the people to watch. So they may have been canvassing, scrounging information from everybody, because apparently all the phone companies were participating, probably not willfully, but nevertheless participating in this sweep. It just tells me that if they try to narrow it down, they're probably going to look at the traffic going into Gun Owners of America or the 10th Amendment Center or people calling your office, because in their mind, that's where they're going to find the terrorists. And that's probably why terrorists keep going bang on them, because they don't know where to look for them. It's their own allies.
Jessica, your thoughts about what has transpired in the last 30 days? This country has literally been turned upside down by these leaks and allegations and revelations.
It's a very scary. I mean, it really is a scary situation we're all experiencing, because we are finally putting out in the light how corrupt this administration, and particularly this administration, our government has been. And although it's very frightening, it's to me it feels great to know that there are people who are willing, unfortunately, to put their life and their future and their family's future on the line. You know, these whistleblowers, one whistleblower after the other. And I'm hoping that most people will see that, you know, this is not the president. This is not what he promised. He promised total government transparency. Instead, we are becoming a transparent as Americans. We have no privacy. Our emails, our bank accounts with the IRS and Obamacare eventually, our medical records, you know, our phone calls, everything, our text messages are completely transparent to a government that, frankly, as it's been stated in many of the blogs and the stories, has become, or is, Orwellian. It's 1984. And I just hope that these individuals, these whistleblowers, will have others who work with them, colleagues, coworkers, who are willing to come out and say, hey, you know what, this is wrong. This is wrong that we're doing this towards the American public, American citizens, you know, the homeschoolers, the Tea Partiers, gun owners, ex-veterans. And there's a question that rises about national security, but the fact of the matter is that we are the threat. Us as Americans are the threat. They're not. I think it was Ed Snowden who said that they gather more information on Americans than they do on Russia, and unfortunately, you know, that's just it's very scary thought.
Larry, let me ask you.
One thing, if I could add to that, Jay Leno spoke to this, I thought, very well. He said, finally, we have a president who listens to all Americans.
Larry, let me ask you, in the District of Criminals there, in the Beltway, is there a realization that the American people are coming to a boil? When you realize how much money these people have taken by force, how much money these people spend, how they live high on the hog. IRS spent $50 million just on conferences. You know, I don't think I would want to work for the federal government and be out in the hinterlands, because I think your chances of survival are not real good.
Well, when we were fighting against Republican Senator Pat Toomey's gun control bill, we heard reports back that one of his colleagues, Tom Coburn, who's normally a very sensible guy, was thinking about jumping ship on us and voting for the dark side. And the reports we got back from Oklahoma were that everywhere he went, every town hall he had, plus other ways people contacted him, phone calls, letters, whatever, that's all. It was as if Gun Owners of America had given everybody a script, and they were hollering at him about how dare he think about voting for gun control. And he ended up voting right. And this is a guy that's retiring, but I think he probably concluded, gee, if I'm going to live back in Oklahoma, maybe I'd better not become a byword before I retire.
Well, maybe he thought what happened to the city of Hope by the hand of God might happen to the city of Coburn by the hand of Oklahomans.
That was apparently pretty obviously the next step, and he got the message. It's like old Senator Dirksen was so fond of saying, when I feel the heat, I see the light.
Well, that's what I remember Dirksen with his rather unusual way of communication. And I think he also said, if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen. But or maybe someone else said that. But at any rate, let's now talk about gun control. Both Obama and what's his name, the senator that brought up the gun control. Toomey, not Toomey, the Democrat.
Manchin.
Yeah, said that they're going to bring it back. And I think Biden, that's who I'm trying to think of. Biden said that gun control will be back and will pass this year.
That's always possible, and I wouldn't dare say that that could never happen. But I don't know how many times red state Democrats want to vote against the Second Amendment. As it was, Senator Coburn is a Republican and a conservative in a conservative state, and conservative Republicans were just about ready to boil him alive. I think that some Democrat getting on the wrong side, if Coburn got a lot of heat, you can only imagine what a Democrat might be looking at, because they would have given the voters even more reasons to be upset with them and unhappy. And so guns is one of the things, guns and babies are two of the things that Democrat senators from Republican leading states tend to vote for, at least when people are looking, so that they can make themselves look like they're moderate or even conservative. It's a great way to fool the people, and then they can vote for all the socialism and the big spending that makes Democrats so happy.
Chief?
Well, this is an interesting conversation. I've heard you called it the District of Criminals, and Larry talked about Janet Napolitano, and Jessica talked about being scared. And I'm thinking, well, you know, let's remember who hired Janet Napolitano, Barack Obama, who was caught saying in the past that it's all those people that cling on to their guns and Bibles. That's really the problem. So what we have here, we really have an administration that is dead set against the Second Amendment, dead set against the American people and liberty, and they're never going to stop. Like this LA Times article that you showed earlier, they will never let the truth get in the way of their agenda. They are here to take our guns away. Whether they're ours or D's really doesn't matter. We've got to be on offense all the time to stop them and take them out when we need to.
Oh, can we use another term? Go ahead.
Take them out of office.
Take them out of office. Thank you.
That's what we're going to be trying to do in a number of races. It's still very early, but I think one thing that we have going for us is that people, especially like McCain, are no longer able to intimidate fellow Republicans who are to his right, which is all other Republicans. McCain being quite the socialist and pretending to be a maverick. He's been called out by Senator Cruz, and called out rather well. McCain called him a wacko-bird, and Cruz wrapped his arms around that expletive, and it's now become a badge of honor for the really conservative Republicans in the Senate. And so I think the whole dynamic there, the whole culture of the Senate is undergoing some change, because some of these new senators are just not sitting down and taking it anymore. And Cruz especially strikes me as somebody who's here to do business. He got elected saying he was going to go up to Washington and fight, and that's exactly what he's done since he got here. He isn't doing things the way things have always been done here in the Senate. Thank God he's not.
Let's talk to Jessica, who was from Texas, is now, I think, in St. Louis. But Jessica, what did you hear about Cruz, and what are you hearing about him now?
Well, you know, yes, I ran into him during the campaign. He ran a fantastic race, and he has stuck to every promise and every word that he that he mentioned on the campaign. And in Texas, I mean, he is loved because of his stance against the establishment, against the John McCains and the Lindsey Grahams. And you know, I am really, I know I keep saying the word, but I'm really hopeful that his stance and his integrity and his conviction will carry on to other, other candidates or other members of the Senate and of Congress who are willing to step away from the establishment. Another important thing that he did, I think, that says a lot about his personality, is when he said that I believe it was that he is fearful of the Republicans, which you would never hear another Republican say about his own party. But I think that speaks volumes in terms that, from the sense that we have to fear our own party, whether we're Republicans or Democrats, because it's many times that party will appeal to how we maybe follow blindly and use that following as a way to mask and hide their agendas, which is exactly what's happening now with with Obama, and he's getting away with a ton of things that years ago people would have said, how dare George Bush do this or do that, and now Obama's doing the exact same thing. But people like Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, hopefully will be the ones that blaze that trail so that we can start changing our country and getting leadership in there that is listening to the American public.
Well said. In fact, let's go back to Larry. Larry, you mentioned the upcoming elections. Right now, well, of course, we have that temporary situation in New Jersey until they elect another Democrat. But we have to win basically 5 seats and the White House, or 6 seats to take over the Senate, correct?
Right.
And what do our chances look like at this early stage, would you say?
Well, you're going to see something in Virginia that might be a bellwether, as it has sometimes in the past. Our Attorney General is running for governor, Ken Cuccinelli, and Cuccinelli is a principled conservative, and he has served, whether in the state Senate or now in the Attorney General's office, as a very steady, unflinching conservative, very bright guy, and he's facing a former Democrat Party chairman, Terry McAuliffe. The polls are saying that the election, if it were held today, it would be close, or he's slightly behind. Well, frankly, I think most of us are probably aware that the polls don't mean anything until about the last week, because the polls lie. The polls are a Democrat tool to try to dispirit the conservative base of the Republican Party into thinking, what's the use? I might as well not send any money to my candidate or to my cause, or to a Gun Owners of America or whatever. I just sort of sit back and suck my thumb because woe is me, it's all over. That's what public opinion polls are used for. The ones that may actually tell you where the candidates are ones that they're not publishing. Those are when they really want to know where they are. Frankly, I think Cuccinelli has a very good chance of winning this year because he is such a quality candidate and because he has been such a vote winner, even where Gun Owners of America is located in Northern Virginia, which is only on a good day willing to vote Republican. He's gotten Northern Virginia votes, and majority. So I think we've got a very potent guy who, as governor, is very likely to emerge as someone often in the national limelight, because he's going to say things and do things that are just absolutely going to explode liberals' heads. So I would say go out and get another bag of popcorn. You're going to like this movie.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We're going to be on you a lot to try and keep us abreast of what's happening inside the Beltway, and we'll be reviewing what's happening outside. Tell folks again how they can be a part of Gun Owners of America. You've increased your numbers. You've increased your influence. Many say you are the main reason, although NRA was there too, to fight this gun control. How do folks get in touch with you?
We're at gunowners.org, and if folks will go there, they can certainly join. It's whatever they want to send our way, we're very grateful to accept that. And they can get on our alert list, which is emails that we send out as a freebie. And typically on a weekly basis, we'll let them know what's happening on Capitol Hill, and then we'll include an email in the alert so that they can shoot that off. It's pre-written, and it'll go to their own representative. They don't even have to know the representative's name. The system we use dopes that out from their address and zip code.
Very good. Gunowners.org. Folks, check it out. Become a part. Thanks, Larry, for being a part of the show. And folks, stay tuned.
Thank you.
We'll be continuing with Major General Jerry Curry.
For history does not long entrust the care of freedom to the weak or the timid.
Nations may rise, fall, but an idea lives on.
Lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
History hasn't been easy on America. We've waged war in foreign fields and secured the blessings of liberty. But history isn't simply the story of our triumph. It's also the story of our struggles. And we are no strangers to hardship. Each generation of Americans is tested, and we're entering a time of tribulation, disappearing jobs, disappointing politics. But beyond that lies the second American century, a new golden age. Our generation is being called not to win a revolution, but to preserve one, to recall the source of the blessings of liberty before liberty is squandered by those who do not understand that it can be lost forever. We are being called to declare that the principles of our founders are timeless, not temporary. To decide that freedom isn't always comfortable or convenient, but it is always necessary, whether it is in the public space or the marketplace. We are being called to remember simply who we are. When times are toughest, our truest character is revealed. Well, times are tough, and sometimes our politics can seem hopeless. So what do? We do what we have always done, what we're best at.
I fight for freedom.
For our republic. For my family.
For the free market.
I fight.
I fight.
I fight.
I fight. I fight.
We fight.
I like to eat. Do you like to eat? We all do. And usually we run to the grocery store, we run to the convenience store, or we have something in the fridge. But power's been out in parts of this country in the last few weeks. We don't know what's going to come down the pike economically. Smart people are putting in food. Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves is a line of foods that you can put away that will last for a very long time. You know, they say eat what you store and store what you eat. This is great tasting stuff, healthy for you, a full line. You go to our website, cpnlive.com, and click on the button for Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves and see all the different things we have. This is good tasting food. It's reasonably priced. It will last. And it's worth its weight in gold if a problem arises. I know you don't think there's going to be anything that goes wrong. Actually, you do. This is smart. This is smart insurance. This is smart preparation. This is smart thinking. You have kids, you have a spouse, you have parents, you have dependents, you have an appetite. All those things can be addressed by a frugal but smart investment in Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves. Try them out. You will be tickled to death with the taste of them. You know what? In many cases, people start to eat this and they think, heck, this tastes better and costs less than what you're going to the grocery store to buy. cpnlive.com. Check it out. Hey, my name is Stan Solomon, and you know if I have something to say, I'll say it. And I'll only tell you the truth because I'm a Republican, not a Democrat. Democrats always lie. Republicans only lie half the time. I don't lie at all. This is the Fuel Mule. It's an extraordinary product that was developed by a friend of mine, an engineer, and it increases the fuel mileage on your vehicle. If you have a combustion engine, this will increase your mileage by 10 to 20%. It bolts around your fuel line. You can install it yourself or have your mechanic do it. It is an extraordinary item, and it flat works. I've been using it for more than 10 years. It's increased my mileage on every vehicle I put it on, and by the way, it will last forever. You can get rid of your vehicle, just take it off and put it on the next one. Go to cpnlive.com. You'll have more information there. You can order it right there. We absolutely guarantee you'll be satisfied. The Fuel Mule. It's a way to kick down your cost of fuel and kick up your mileage. Don't you love the name? I thought of it. The Fuel Mule. Let me ask you a question. Do you like being sick? I have in my hand an incredible product. It's called TR10 Supercolloidal Silver. TR10 stands for a trace to the negative 10th power. The particles in this silver product are 6 to 8 angstroms, 6 to 8 10 billionths of a meter. Now listen to me. Silver has been the magic bullet for all of human existence. The Egyptians used silver instruments. We use silverware. They put silver in your teeth because nothing can grow on silver. Silver will kill anything but liberalism. I'm working on that. This product, you go to cpnlive.com, buy 1 quart of this product. It will last you for a very long time. Anytime you feel like you've been exposed to something bad, take some of this product, spray it in your mouth, or take a little bit and gargle it, swallow it. It will kill any pathogen. The average antibiotic kills 10 to 20 different pathogens. This product will kill 700 plus. Do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, do your doctor a favor. He's tired of seeing you. Get Supercolloidal Silver. Go to cpnlive.com, order the product. It's $29.95 plus shipping. I think it's $39.95 delivered any place in America right to your door. It's worth 10 times that. Check it out. If you're not 100% happy, just return it and we'll give you your money back.